It is a beautiful day to be a Cartoon Network fan. We may have been in a dry spell for the last year or so, but finally, there is a shining light at the end of the tunnel, and it looks like 3 new Adventure Time projects, a brand new regular show series, a new season of Gumball, and so much more. We have a ton of animation news that's been coming out the last week or so, and while I'm excited to spotlight some up-and-coming original series in a different video, for now, I want to focus on all of the Cartoon Network-oriented announcements that were just made at this year's Annecy Festival. I hope you're ready to get hyped, because a lot of Cartoon Network fan favorites are making a big comeback, taking these franchises to places never before seen. With all that said, let's dive in. Also, I thoroughly roasted the new Taco Bell Cheez-It Crunch Wrap on my personal channel. Please check that out after this video because I would love to make more of those. Thank you. Gigi Quintel's new regular show and Craig McCracken's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends spin-offs both feature in a new production slate from Warner Bros. Animation, Cartoon Network Studios, and Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe. Unveiled Wednesday at Annecy, they join a new Adventure Time series, Side Quest, as greenlights at the Warner-owned companies. The new slate also boasts 2 more Adventure Time shows in development, plus an unannounced Scooby-Doo project. The big question raised by Studios Annecy Focus is whether the surge in new shows is a temporary anomaly or marks a broader indicator of a more sustained return by Warner Bros. Discovery to fuller-on animation production after a lull of the recent past. Personally, I think that simply relies on the success of these projects. A bulk of these announcements are certainly a response to the strong performance of Fiona and Cake Season 1, which took over the internet by storm last summer and seems to be one of, if not the most successful animated Max original in recent years. Mostly because everything else they put out has not gotten the marketing it deserves, and Adventure Time is a household name. But if all of these projects are a success, then we may see more pop up from Warner Bros. Discovery, original shows, and more revivals. But that's just my speculation. Certainly, the news will not come much bigger at this year's Annecy than Adventure Time, regular show, and Foster's returns. Shows which help shape fandom's sense of modern-day animation entertainment in the 2010s and just before. The Warner Bros. Animation, Cartoon Network Studios, Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe bonanza also underscores Warner Bros.' declared strategy of returning to top fan favorites but making them for different age group demos. McCracken's original Foster's targeted 6 to 11s, while the new Foster's Home is preschool, which I'm not sure why they're doing that. They just canceled the first preschool original series, Jessica's Big Little World, after only like 10 episodes because it seems like they wanted to move away from preschool programming. Yet between this and one of the Adventure Time projects, they're doubling down? Make it make sense, y'all. Below is a brief breakdown of new shows announced by the 3 companies at Annecy. Foster's Funtime for Imaginary Friends. Creator of Foster's Home, which won Emmys and Annies, Craig McCracken, also known for the Powerpuff Girls, is back with a completely new original series targeting preschoolers. In it, a now young group of preschool imaginary friends learns from an immature elder friend, Blue, who, as in the original, still unintentionally gets things wrong. Blue in the original series intentionally got a lot of things wrong a lot of the time. McCracken has promised the same fast pace, but a fun, simpler structure and less cynical humor. Only Blue and Madam Foster return. Where's Frankie? You can't get me a Foster's Home without Frankie! Now we also have this teaser image and I'ma be honest, I really like the art direction for this show. I'm not really inclined to check it out since it is a preschool show, but this seems to be a nice use of 2D and CGI, like Gumball. I'd rather have a refreshing art direction like this, something that reinvents the art style in a new medium, rather than them sticking with full-on 2D and potentially putting out a product that does not look nearly as good as the original, or just different enough to bother fans of the original, even though I'm not sure how many of them are going to be pulling up for a preschool show. Now, despite this not being my jam, I do really hope this is a success. Foster's was one of my favorites as a kid, and I'm excited for all the kids who get to discover this franchise in a brand new way. I hope they get to connect with it the same way I did, and eventually get their hands on the original series where they realize, oh, Blue is an asshole. Next up, we have Adventure Time Side Quest. While the adult-skewed Fiona and Cake is airing on Max, Side Quest takes the franchise back to a kids show, marking a return to early days with Kid Finn and Best Buddy Jake fighting monsters on epic side quests and an episodic series, eschewing the long story arcs of later Adventure Time. Side Quest looks to be set in the same world as the early original, repeating characters such as the villain the Ice King. Now, I think this is a great idea. Yes, we have Fiona and Cake, a show that grew up alongside the original. But I think giving us a series that maintains the vibe of seasons 1 and 2 throughout will not only cater to a new generation of Adventure Time fans who can jump in at any point, but it can satiate longtime Adventure Time fans who do miss the original series, when things were a lot simpler for the world. It wasn't constantly pulling at our heartstrings, and we get to spend more time with characters like Jake, who has been long gone by the time we reach Fiona and Cake. I think this also alleviates a lot of pressure from Fiona and Cake. Part of the appeal of season 1 was getting the chance to see a lot of these characters again. But now with side quests, we're going to be getting plenty of new adventures with the original cast, which in return allows Fiona and Cake to focus on its own characters, flesh them out more, and tell a satisfying self-contained story that can include characters from the original Adventure Time. But if they're absent, I don't think that absence will necessarily be felt, because odds are they're going to pop up over in side quest, where they can get into their own shenanigans independent of Fiona and Cake. That being said, I would still like Fiona and Finn to meet, but I feel like the show won't have an obligation to give us a marshalling cameo, a bubblegum cameo, another appearance of the Lich, so on and so forth, simply because it won't be the only Adventure Time show around. All of those characters can just pop up over here. It also feels very deliberate on Cartoon Network's end because, if you couldn't tell, they want to keep all of their episodic shows running for as long as possible. Teen Titans Go isn't going away anytime soon. Gumball is coming back, and now they're making an Adventure Time show that can go on for as long as they want because the rules of serialization no longer apply. I think this also opens up the possibilities of more shows like this at Cartoon Network, but for other franchises. If we're jumping around the Adventure timeline, then how about a Steven Universe series that's set in between the original and future? There are a lot of stories there that we didn't get to see. The possibilities are endless, but let's keep it moving, because up next we have the untitled regular show project. I called it! I called it! Immediately fans are gonna have a million questions. Is this gonna be an all ages outing like the original series, or will it be more adult like Fiona and Cake? Is this taking place before the finale or after? And if so, how does that work? Unfortunately, these are questions we do not have the answer to yet, although there are some context clues. Details on the new show are being kept under wraps. It's not even known if Mordecai and Rigby are back. The key, however, is that it's from J.G. Quintel. The show is entirely new, though it will feature some characters from the original series. Okay, so the idea of it being entirely new but featuring some characters makes me think that it could either be a prequel prior to the original or something set after the finale. Mordecai and Rigby no longer work at the park, and it's Benson training some new recruits, which I think at the very least would guarantee Muscle Man and Skips. I don't think they quit the park after Mordecai and Rigby left, and because regular show's modern day popularity definitely contributed to this, they're not gonna pass up the chance to have some modern day my mom jokes. Now I can see Mordecai and Rigby popping up. Maybe they finally get promoted, and they just slightly retcon the ending, so even though they did quit the park, there were a few years they came back, trained a new generation, and then went on to start families and Mordecai becoming a famous artist, X, Y, and Z. I think that'd actually be pretty cool to see. Mordecai and Rigby in Benson's shoes, realizing how much hell they put Bro through, while still have plenty of growing up to do themselves. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I am ecstatic to have new regular show content in this world. You can definitely expect plenty of videos on that when it comes out. Other projects revealed at Annecy includes Go-Go Mystery Machine, a new Scooby-Doo spinoff that takes the gang to Japan. On the ultimate foodie adventure, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo unwittingly unleash hundreds of mischievous mythical monsters that are now causing trouble all over the country. Scooby turns to his uncle, Daisuke-2, and magical friend Etsuko, alongside Gadget Wish Toshiro, to help solve the mystery and catch monsters. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this. The art direction looks neat, but we're getting another Scooby-Doo series that focuses on just Shaggy and Scoob, with the rest of Mystery Inc. being MIA, and it's clearly cashing in on the anime craze. But unlike My Adventures with Superman, which is just wearing anime influence on its sleeve, this one is kind of giving me the vibe of, hey kids, anime! But the creature design looks very cool, and you already know the staff is going to be full of anime fans, so I really think the writing will make or break this one. We also have Adventure Time Hey Bimo, the first ever Adventure Time preschool series. Again, I don't know why we need one. In the fantastical land of Ooh, the literal robot Beemo is on a new adventure, now settled in a new neighborhood of new friends. Beemo approaches each challenge he faces with a unique brand of enthusiasm and curiosity in a quest to learn and fill his database. Looks cute, like Foster's. I don't think it's gonna be up my alley, but hopefully kids ditch the Coco Melon and tune in. We have the Adventure Time movie, which is a project I'm really excited about, as the one and only Rebecca Sugar is helming the film. Billed by Cartoon Network Studios as Jake and Finn embarking on their biggest adventure yet, Sugar serves as creator with Mudo and another Adventure Time veteran, Patrick McHale, the co-creator of Over the Garden Wall. Not much is known about this movie, but if it's a Rebecca Sugar movie, you already know it's gonna be a great time. They weren't lying in 2010, y'all. The fun never ends with Adventure Time. We also have Bad Karma, a family movie project set in a fantasy mythological world built by Warner Bros. Animation as an exciting and epic tale of courage, loyalty, and an unlikely friendship. Featuring a young demon princess, Chandra, and the legendary demigod, Hanuman. Glad we're getting something that's not just established IP. And last but certainly not least, we have Lovey Dovey, a romantic wedding dove in search of his one true love, gets stuck with a bunch of streetwise pigeons whose only goal is to screw the large bird from a popular kids TV show. Ava Trammer, a writer on Harley Quinn, takes the creative lead. Now I love Harley Quinn, so if that's any indication of this movie's sense of humor, I'm all for it. We also have an update on Gumball Season 7, which all but confirms that the movie is dead, as they confirm this new season will explore the Void, alongside introducing Penny's extended family. But saying we're gonna explore the Void in this new season more or less confirms that the movie is donezo. GG, it was a good run. Overall, while this slate is very IP dominated, I'm still thrilled that Cartoon Network is finally getting somewhere after a few years of just getting beaten down over and over. Hopefully these projects are a hit, and it leads to more creatively fulfilling projects getting greenlit by the studio. There are 2 more Cartoon Network oriented projects that I want to talk about in a different video, but for now, I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel about the return of Regular Show and all of these new Adventure Time projects? Let us know in the comments down below, and keep the conversation going over at Roundtable Vids and at Oshik Fox on Twitter and Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. See ya!